Welcome to the fifth installment of the Grow Your Dealership in the Digital Age webinar series. Today we're talking about data's role in your dealer strategy, and we have with us today Tammy Bray.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tammy. We've talked a lot about data in this webinar series, so we thought it would be nice to kind of take a step back, kind of take a 30,000 foot view of data and talk about kind of what are all the different ways that data plays a role in your dealer strategy. And I do want to clarify here, when we talk about data, we're specifically talking about UCC1 based data or maybe CSA or violation data here. So take it away, Tammy.
Okay. Well, I think what's important for everyone to realize is that there's no real right or wrong way for a dealer to be using the data. It's whatever is going to help drive their business needs. We have customers who are using data in the very, very basic ways, simple lead generation, mailing lists, or they're looking just to understand market share around them, and that's fine. And it works for them and it helps drive their business. But then we have dealerships who are using data at a whole different level. They're using priority prospects and matching them back into our data. And they build Milestone Watches so that they can look at where they're truly losing business. And they're taking that data to a whole other level. So it's important for dealers to understand, to help work with their client success team and their sales representative to tell what their real business struggles are, what their goals are, so that we can help them find the best ways and most effective ways to use the data.
You mentioned creating a Milestone Watch. Can you tell me a little bit more about that process?
Sure. So a Milestone Watch is part of our EDA online platform. And what it does is allow us to look at specific buyers, what they're buying, and what they've purchased. There's a lot of different applications we can do with that watch as well as some others. But one of the hottest new things that people are doing with that feature now is taking the results from their priority prospects list, matching that through our match tool or building that into their EDA database, and then building a Milestone Watch on that. And what that's allowing us to do is say, this particular buyer came to our website, to your website. Mm-hmm. They looked at certain pieces of equipment, and now as we watch their patterns and what they've purchased through time, we can see that, yes, indeed, they went back and they did buy that excavator or that tractor that they looked at. Or they bought one, but they didn't buy your brand. So they actually went to a different dealership to purchase that. But we're showing that when people are on websites looking at equipment, they're serious about purchasing equipment. Those would be those actionable leads they should be looking at.
Okay, and just for the people that weren't on last month's webinar, can you give us a little bit more about priority prospects?
Sure. Priority prospects is a great tool that allows us to put tracking code on the dealer's website. And that tracking code is going to look at who is on the dealer's websites, looking at pages. And then we take the results of that through our algorithms, and we're able to look at different firmographics and present back to the dealer scored leads, which tell you the probability or the propensity to buy product within that particular year. We know that anyone who's visiting a website is likely doing it with intent to purchase. So we're looking at their past, we're looking at information, we're looking at firmographics, and telling you that these are the best prospects for you to be in touch with right now.
That's really interesting. And I know with your role, you talk to a lot of dealers. So do you talk to a lot of dealers that are missing a lot of opportunities when it comes to data?
Every single day. And actually, that's from a client success, client experience perspective, that's what's really sad in our jobs, because we know there's so much more that we can do with the data to help these dealers. I think the biggest thing that an average dealership misses out on is the aftermarket opportunities. Sales and marketing gets all excited about what they can do with the data, but they don't think about how to incorporate that to their service and parts department. And the data and understanding the equipment in a territory can really help grow their service opportunities. And that's bread and butter for a lot of those dealerships. We can also bring in inventory or parts managers to help them understand how they can better turn over their inventory. Those are things dealers get excited about, but then they don't really know how to enact that in their dealerships. And we love to help with that.
Okay. Well, let's say I'm new to data and I want to be more of a data-driven dealership. Where would you suggest that I start? What's kind of my first place that I need to start with?
I think the greatest advice I'd have to a dealership is really working again with their sales representative and their client success manager to just understand what's out there. Be open and honest about what their needs are, what they need to accomplish, and then let the client success manager tailor the solutions to meet those specific business needs. It might be something very simple. It might be a little bit more elaborate, but the more we work together, the greater that solution is that we can tailor and get the data used across all departments.
Okay. Let's go kind of in the opposite direction here. I'm a dealer, I use data, but I want to take it to the next level. I want to be, top-notch data scientist. What do I need to do then? What am I looking at?
That's where the fun starts.
Okay.
So as we start doing things like that, we can get so creative with the use of the data. Using custom analytics, we can build out an Excel file and look at sales territory filters. We can do lost sales analysis. We can get very, very granular in the data so that a dealership understands which sales rep is losing in what territory and to what other pieces of equipment, and help them custom tailor and maybe do some training for their internal employees to better position against what they're losing against.
Okay.
We might bring in professional services to start doing some overlap analysis in territories. We might look at swayables and non-swayable buyers. We can have a lot of fun with the data doing that. Again, simply a matter of asking, hey, what else can I do? And sometimes dealers are afraid to do that.
Okay. Let's kind of sum it all up here. So we know that, data can play an integral role in how I strategize as a dealership. So kind of what's the big takeaway of everything that we've talked about today?
Well, I think the biggest thing is for a dealership to really understand what their possibilities are and then have a plan of action. Really using the data, knowing what its purpose is, knowing how to get it out to the right people, making sure those people understand why they're receiving the data. We see a lot of dealerships say, oh, here's a report, but they don't necessarily tell the recipient what to do with that report. So allowing us to help them in that training and providing the ideas for the dealership helps. So really having that really good targeted plan of action and holding people accountable for making sure it's implemented.
Thanks, Tammy. That was very interesting. I do want to reiterate that a lot of the capabilities that Tammy's mentioning today are only possible if you have access to data sets like you would have in EDA or RigDig. Just wanted to clarify that. Be on the lookout for the post-webinar download, How Data Drives Revenue at Your Dealership. If you have any questions about anything you heard today, submit your questions to the URL on the screen. And I believe that's it. See you next time.